In a new development within the United States, the federal judiciary has ruled that the Trump administration must continue providing certain food assistance benefits under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, widely known as SNAP, despite the ongoing government shutdown that has now entered its fifth week. The SNAP program is one of the nation's most important social support systems, offering food aid to millions of low-income families. More than 40 million Americans rely on it for basic necessities such as bread, milk, and vegetables. The court's decision came amid a wave of public concern and political tension following the suspension of several government agencies as a result of the shutdown, which disrupted funding for many federal programs. The federal court stated that halting food aid poses a direct threat to citizens' food security, emphasizing that continuing payments is a humanitarian necessity that must not be tied to political disagreements. The current shutdown began on October 1st, following a sharp dispute between Congress and the administration over the national budget and funding for certain projects, including the proposed border wall. This deadlock led to a partial freeze of government operations, leaving hundreds of thousands of federal employees without pay for weeks. The judicial ruling has been hailed by many as a victory for social justice, as it prevents the interruption of food assistance vital to children, families, and the elderly across the country. Supporters of former President Trump argue that the decision represents an overreach into executive. However, supporters of former President Trump argue that the decision represents an overreach into executive authority, while others maintain that protecting citizens' welfare must come before any political consideration. Several U.S. states have welcomed the decision and announced that they will coordinate with the U.S. Department of Agriculture to ensure the continuity of benefits during the shutdown. Meanwhile, charities and civil organizations have urged the federal government to find a long-term solution to secure the stability of essential aid programs. This ruling comes at a time of growing pressure on both the White House and Congress to reach an agreement that could end the shutdown, which has already affected critical sectors, including public transportation, research institutions, and even some military hospitals. Experts warn that if the shutdown continues, it could result in a temporary economic slowdown and weaken market confidence. Others suggest that the current crisis could also serve as an opportunity to reassess the structure and funding mechanisms of federal assistance programs. As negotiations in Washington continue to seek a political resolution, the federal court's decision stands as a clear message that the food security of American citizens should never be used as leverage in political conflicts, and that protecting vulnerable populations remains a collective responsibility that cannot be postponed.